the system. So I just wanted to make that point out. I have a question for Chuck that I could bring up later, but
Go ahead.
Chuck, when we looked at the charter renewal application, you reviewed that in 2005. And we did approve the charter in the renewal of the charter in 2005. And I'm going to go on about the charter renewal a little bit, but and this isn't really. I just like to get your comment, because in your recommendation, you said that the charter renewal application met all tests and that ACLC is uniquely successful charter school. And I haven't heard you say anything different tonight. And so, just to clarify, you're really just commenting on this application and this proposal.
That's all, exactly as you have said.
Okay, because and I would agree with you, and the board did approve that charter, and I personally think that it is a good, it's a unique, certainly, school, and it's a successful school, and that's been demonstrated by the achievements and the recent Distinguished School Award. But then Chuck mentioned, as he talked about, some issues with the application, and I want to kind of go on to those things at this point and point out, or just to talk about the superintendent's recommendation. Basically, I did look back. I looked back at Chuck's recommendation for the approval. I looked back at the 2002 report, the 2004 report, and I looked at the superintendent's recommendations, and I'm concerned. I mean, I'm concerned about the ability of the charter to meet the proposal, the expectations in the proposal, despite I'll go back to the proposal, the request to in 2004. Which was approved in 2004, to add a 6th grade. And at that time, ACLC said, and one of the reasons behind adding the 6th grade was to increase, improve, expand, and achieve more diversity. But since then, actually, the diversity's been reduced. The school has gotten less reduced in terms of ethnicity, at least, and also in terms of special education and English language learners. And I have to say that's one, it demonstrates to me that, you know, you've had this goal in the past. ACLC's had this goal. The district agreed with this goal and approved the expansion to 6th grade, but the goal wasn't met at that time. So it makes me a little concerned about approving this charter with the same goal when history shows that it wasn't achieved. As I said, the committee outlined a number of concerns related to the proposed educational program. And well, let me go back to the 2004 approval and just make one other comment, because I have to respond to one of the supporters who suggested that the only consideration for the board is money. And I would certainly, speaking for myself, I would say that I haven't reviewed this application in terms of financial implications, and money is a big concern to me as a board member. But in this case, my concern is student success. And I have to point out, in all my review, carrying around all this paper, looking at all your past reports, when you did your presentation to the board in 2004, and you told us why is 6th grade good for ACLC, one of your points, one of the bullets, was because ACLC will get more money. Well, I guess money is a consideration for all of us. So this isn't mentioned in this report as a reason behind why you would want to expand and add a NIA charter school. But again, looking at past history and pointing out that you would get $90,000 more a year, I think it was, for adding a 6th grade, makes me you know, wonder if this, why that wasn't mentioned as an issue in this proposal. But the main thing, again, as I said, it was about the equity which was mentioned in that proposal. Adding sixth grade helps East-West and parent equity, so to make East-West more equitable. And so back to the recommendations of the committee. The committee outlined a number of concerns related to the proposed educational program. And as I mentioned, and in particular, the explanation of how the charter will meet the needs of students with disabilities and English language learners is insufficient, to say the least. So I'm just going to close my comments. One speaker urged us to represent all views and not to make our decision based on petty issues. And one of the last speakers said that we would be skirting our responsibilities if we denied this charter. Well, I think that we'd be skirting our responsibilities if we approved a program that didn't meet the needs of all of our students.
David? So first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the many people that have made their voices heard on one side or the other. I'm very comfortable that in my short time, 3 years on the board, this issue has generated the most emails to my inbox. It has totally captivated the Alameda blogosphere, such as it is. And I am, on that note, very encouraged by the huge interest within Alameda for public education and about public education. It's fabulous that there is this huge debate, and it is captivating or engrossing a lot of people. I do think it seems to me that you know, whether one's in New Hampshire and Alameda, we're all for change. Thank you. But the thing that really strikes me about tonight's comments is that I've heard way too much about ACLC. And that, to me, sort of echoes Chuck's point about how the charter was written, or how the charter proposal was written, that there's too much ACLC in there. This decision tonight isn't about ACLC. This decision is about a proposed new charter, albeit by the same group that runs ACLC, but I think, frankly, we've heard too much about ACLC and not enough discussion about the specific proposal. And to the point that you know, we're not allowing you know, an opportunity for rebuttal to the findings of the committee. The state, in its infinite wisdom, set up this process. It set up this process whereby communities are pitted against one another. It's set up this process whereby there's a strict timeline to follow. It's set up this process whereby if we deny, it goes on to the next level, to the county level. There is no process set up by the state in its infinite wisdom, again, to allow for rebuttal. So to the issue, the actual the findings, I have to say that the one that speaks loudest to me is the third finding, and the insufficient detail regarding the proposed K-5 program. I think, and I think it's a pure speculation that there may have been a very different finding had this been a K6, a totally new K6 charter proposal. There were some, there were definitely other issues in the finding, but I think to me the bigger issue was the lack of detail about the K5 program. So on that, I would also, we're not ready yet, but certainly I would also vote to deny.
Janet?
Yes. So I think I need to say a little bit about my background with our charter school, the existing one, and commenting on this proposal. I was a teacher at Alameda High School when Paul Bentz was, and when a group of people began working with the superintendent then, Dennis Jaconis, and Arthur Anderson people, and did all that tremendous exploration and studying to start the Arthur Anderson Learning Center. So I've seen it develop. I've seen it go from part of our public school with pretty much many of the ways it operates now. It was operating then, and I think it was mentioned financially it became advantageous to break away and to become a charter school. I have a daughter who teaches there now. So I see very positive things, and the emails we received from parents and students in the community certainly substantiate the fact that this is a very successful model. In fact, when I look at this, and I think over our previous board meetings with the plea of change and choices for people throughout the district, parents for their children, we need to encourage models within our public education system. We need to encourage new approaches. My problem was in the very beginning when I'm the only board member that actually voted in that first one, and I voted against Arthur Anderson becoming a charter, because I believe that we had a wonderful, we had the basic model there, and that money shouldn't be the only criteria for becoming a charter school. And let me say something about charter schools. I was a union activist, I was a teacher, and I saw the movement all over the United States of people who wanted public education to become privatized through vouchers. And when California, and when the teachers of California and New York and all over the country knew that the public was pushing for that, and knew that we did have schools in school districts, probably in every state, that weren't up to par and needed changing and needed choices, the teachers' unions themselves gave support, and that was said earlier by the union representative, in supporting charters to allow for choices, because at least they were going to be part of public education. Now, we're struggling over this. You know, our students have stood up tonight, and it's very hard to think, is this public or is it private? And we all know it's part of public education. On the other hand, if if every group, if they could afford to hire consultants and write a good 100-page document, many people, I mean, you could start in Alameda one after another and have many small public charter schools. In fact, we've already said tonight we have another one that will be coming up to us. My only question is this: is this the direction that we want for the city of Alameda? Or do we want to have our public education that's part of our AUSD improved in a way that parents, I mean, the words have been wonderful words tonight, that people want diversity and choice, and they want to empower teachers, and we want to empower students and have vision and leadership. Can we not, so my question is this, and I've talked to Mr. Bentz about this: is there no way that we cannot use the expertise that you have, the commitment that parents have, and explore incorporating this model further into our school district? Is the only way that you'll work is if you become a charter school? Or could you work to become part of our public school system here? Now, let's not, you don't want us to vote on something because of loss of money, but you shouldn't be voting on something because you get more money. Do you see what I'm saying? Our decisions should all be mutually the concern for greatness in our schools, for your children, for our students, for our teachers, to work in a successful system. So, this is, I do feel I will be voting to go along with the recommendations of the staff. And I know this is not the end of this, but my challenge is make Alameda Public Schools better schools. Use, all of you, Linda, I knew you, we were all teaching together, Mafa, all of you, make our schools better, work with our staff. You've heard what we're doing, we're looking, how can we change things all over the island to equalize, to have education that offers opportunities to students, whether you're in the East End or the West End, whether you're African American or Hispanic. By the way, I just have to say, when I heard the young man, he's still back there, I think, saying that he found a home after being in this country for 4 years. He found a home at Alameda High School. I thought, oh my gosh, 2,000 kids at Alameda High School. I didn't think he could find a home, but he did. You know, so there's a model. It was right for him. He was able to buy into some things. But I would love to see, I said, Alameda High School, 2,000 kids, that's where I taught. It was 1,800 when I first started, and then it went down, now it's up. And there must be a couple hundred kids there that would love the model that you have. There must be teachers there that would want to work with being more innovative. Oh, but you can't do it if you're a public school rather than a public charter. I think you can. That's what we're looking at in education, to challenge the state, write for some waivers, ask for some of these things that you think it wouldn't work, that you need, that you can't have because you think you have to have a charter. Let's try to make some changes that work. I think we're ready for it. So, I just have to say, I thank everybody for your input, for your struggling, for your work. I do believe that everybody who has spoken tonight wants the best for, you know, for your own children, and I want you to want the best for all the children in Alameda and in other parts too. And let's not be divisive, let's not be mean-spirited, but let's work together. So I thank you.
Mike, do you have any closing comments?
It's real clear to me that we're just delaying the inevitable.
we're going to go ahead and deny it, but it is inevitable that the charter will be approved at this level or be resubmitted. And you know, we get the message. Unfortunately, the rules aren't set up so that something as big as the school district can move as nimbly as charter schools to address the concerns of the overall citizens. So we'll continue to do that. I mean, we hired a superintendent who was going to bring us to greater levels of excellence in the school district, and I'll continue to work with the superintendent in the school district to do that. But I understand the other side of this argument. It's real clear to me. It's inevitable. The rules are set up. We've got the ability to deny it tonight, but you know, 6 months from now or a week from now, we're going to get a different one. So you know, let's move forward. As people said, focus on what we're trying to accomplish, which is changing all the systems for all the kids. Okay. If there are no other comments, I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make the motion. I move that the board adopt the superintendent's recommendation to deny the charter petition as set forth.
We have,
Second.
we have a motion and a second.
I need the language to say adopt the findings.
Adopt the findings, okay.
That way we can proceed down paths.
Okay, I will then change that right here. Okay, I move that the board adopt the findings contained in the January 4th, 2008 memorandum from the Charter School Evaluation Committee and deny the charter proposal from the Community Learning Center Schools Incorporated.
Still second?
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say, well, if we're saying aye is an acceptance of the recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those against? Any abstentions? It's unanimous. Okay. You go to the next item, G8, board member reports. We'll
I'll
give
pass.
couple minutes here.
Yeah, I know. It's the break.
We have to, I think.
David?
Just again to reiterate the opportunity I had to listen into this meeting about Chipman and the Going Green 6th grade and how exciting that is. While I must confess I find it hard at this time of night to generate that excitement, trust me, I am excited. And I really think it's going to be fabulous for the district. It's going to be fabulous for Chipman. It's going to be fabulous for a whole bunch of kids.
Janet? You'll,
I think I'll pass.
okay. Tracy?
Thanks to everyone. I don't really have a report, but I just want to read one sentence from the board policy on charter schools. In determining whether to grant or deny a charter, the board shall carefully review the proposed charter and any supplemental information, consider public and staff input, and determine whether the charter petition adequately addresses all the provisions required by law. I agree with Mike's comments at the end of the discussion, but we we did due diligence, all of us. I did, and I know the rest of the board did as well, and as the superintendent did. And I want to thank the superintendent and staff, because this has been certainly challenging and something that might have been easier to just say, okay, because as Mike pointed out, we'll be dealing with the issue in the future. But as I said in my comments, I want them to come back, and when they do, I really want to see some more evidence about how all the students in Alameda will be supported by any new school, any new charter.
Mike, you'll pass. My only comment was I was at the same meeting regarding the Chipman initiative, and it was definitely a very energetic community meeting, and obviously it has a lot of initial support, and I hope we can continue, because I did continue to underwrite the 3 comments: hope, and let me be very careful, hope, choice, and change. And I think we have to keep that in mind going forward. Yes. And hopefully we can meet the needs of all of our kids. Thank you. And with that comment, I'll adjourn the meeting.